Jesus Christ who designed the Catholic Church, and he designed it as a monarchy and not...
No. He was not setting up a monarchy. He was never, he never had nails, a hammer, a drill bit, a drill, never laying brick on brick, doing none of that. He was, he was a carpenter, but when he was in his ministry, he was not building. I shouldn't say that. He was building. He was building the church in people's hearts. So I had said how by the end of the Old Testament, God was disappointed. Because even though in the Old Testament he doesn't talk about heaven and hell, he talked about the heart all the time. And that the heart is, again, how he will judge people. But that's where he was trying to get people to come back to, is their heart. Again, the whole point of sacrificing the animal wasn't because the ritual meant something to God. It was to try and make them feel bad. This animal has to suffer because of my sin. It was trying to instill empathy. But even the prophets, Ezekiel and Jeremiah being the weeping prophet because of God weeping. That's really everything that the Old Testament was really trying to get to, was the heart. And by the end of the Old Testament, it was still this stubborn, rebellious, disobedient heart. And they always just thought that the rituals is what matters. And that makes no sense at all. Think about everybody, I'm sure, has had it, because I was thinking about this earlier today. Everybody at some point, I believe, most people have experienced where you're put last by someone that you love always puts you last, never wants to put you first, never, takes you into consideration. Everybody's experienced that, right? It's a shitty feeling. It hurts, right? The whole world's done that to the God. And if you think he doesn't feel, think again, because he made us in his image and we have feelings. I mean, this world's done a great job of making a lot of people not have feelings, but for those that do. But also, it's because there's so many people in the hardened heart. That's why your works can't get you there. Because only God can do it, and it takes surrendering to him. It does, and then he will start replacing your heart of stone with the heart of flesh. Then you'd have a different world. We won't. I mean, nobody seems to learn this, like not even any of the churches. This is why God was, done with this hierarchy and this church structure stuff. He's done with it. We're moving on from there. But then people just fell right back in place with doing the same thing that was happening before Jesus came. That's what's happened. And then there's a ton of people that, when they only follow the Old Testament, well, in the Old Testament, God did bless the land or would bless people with good crops or prosperity, based on how well they did the rituals. But it wasn't supposed to stay there. Because again, that was just building to where he always needed to go. And that's that, to live in his kingdom. Because does this seem like his kingdom? First of all, you would know when it's his kingdom. You would. And that you would know when the wicked one is not in control anymore. Number one, all of the suppressed videos and people, because I know I'm not the only one, there would be no longer any suppression, most especially of his word. That would be done away with. No matter what tech did, it would be done away with. You wouldn't, that would be to me, that would be the number one way you would know that God had put the beast in his place. Had lifted the wicked one ruling the world. But he still does that because it's about getting the few people he can to see that it's about the heart. See, everybody, well, it's easy for you to surrender to this world because this world makes it hard. But if you think that at the end of the day, God will be okay with, well, God, I had to do this because I had to work and I had to do, yeah, but you're supposed to rely on him for everything. You are. It's not just, oh, I give God this time. It's supposed to be everything. And when you do that, it's like living the life of Job. Who's going to want to do that? Or the life of the apostles. Although in this day and age, it would just be, it's like a continuous sacrifice. And a ton of people just, that's why they stay in the Old Testament. Is because, well, no, I'm just going to do all the rituals and then God will bless me. Yeah, but is that going to help you in the end? No. And if you think the end means that, well, you want to, because there's a ton of people that believe, oh, it's just all about the body. I'm going to enjoy this life and then whatever happens. Yeah, but what if with that whole glorified body God gives you, do you really want to give that up? See, it's not as easy as people think, but this world, because of these churches, have made it like, oh yeah, you can have everything. You can have all the wealth. You can have all the, God wants to be put first, and this world tells you that He'll bless you with material wealth. No, that's you're moved out of the Old Testament. He's now, when Jesus came, it's about the heart. That's what He's looking for, because truly in His kingdom, before the original sin, they had a heart. There was no heart of stone. So He can't let anybody into that kingdom, which was the original heaven on earth, if they still have a heart of stone. That's why He won't know you. And so for some people, I mean, it depends on how long you've been walking the walk. It's like a never-ending, sacrifice. You have to, having to surrender everything to Him and depend on Him for everything. Believe me, I know it well. And this world would say, oh, you're irresponsible and but God told me not to conform to this world. What this world puts up as success it's all about money and big houses and big mansions, and it's all of this material stuff. But Jesus is looking for the heart. That's what He's searching. Who has a heart, who wants to have the heart that He's looking for, because only He can replace your heart. There's nothing you can do to replace it. It's truly having to surrender to Him. It's like Job in a way. I'm not saying everybody experiences what Job does. But there's certainly nobody that puts God first. Who in this world puts God as priority? Do you realize God said that you need to put Him before your children and your parents? He did. And yet, most people hardly think about Him. And why did that happen? Because all of these foolish churches and these stupid scholars created their damn hierarchies and did the exact same thing that was going on before Jesus came, and have led everyone astray. And instead of taking and I don't think they're capable of taking accountability for that, because God's never replaced their heart. They're just words. Because God doesn't give them the truth. Although they put on this pedestal that we're the first church. Yeah, no, you're not. Just because you say that doesn't make it so. It's the reason why they're wrong about everything. Because God doesn't give them the truth. Just like the Old Testament. God raises up, and those people are silenced. The people that are nobodies, that are not the scholars. The scholars will always be a problem when it comes to His word. That's who always is interpreting the Bible. And the scholars, just like the Catholic Church, didn't want the Bible to be put in English because they didn't want you to interpret it yourself. So that should tell you how God never has been in that church to begin with.